Hey everybody, Hardtekticon is back, bringing you another third-party review of Unique Toys Troll, aka Blot. Alright, so with this review, like the couple previous ones before it, I'm going to be doing the review starting off with the mode that the figure came packaged in, which was robot mode for Blot here. Troll, whatever. And he is a pretty darn cool figure. Now, if you've actually been one of the few people keeping up with my reviews, you probably have been waiting on me to review this guy for probably a month or so. Maybe longer, I don't know. And what happened was I had him, not this exact figure, but I had him, and, well, you know what? This arm came off. Shut up, Mixmaster. This arm came off. I'll show you where it came off once I actually undo these arms for transformation. But I actually had to get in contact with TF and get a replacement figure. Not a replacement arm, a replacement figure. But even though it had been like over a month since I had bought the figure, yeah, I've had this guy a while. I really should have reviewed him earlier. Even though it had been a month since I reviewed the figure, they were still very cool about it. Sent me a brand new one after somebody had opened it and made sure that everything was fine on him. Which, yeah, that means somebody had already handled him before, so he's not like a virgin bot or anything. But I think that was cool of them to actually take the time, make sure the same problem wasn't there. So, thank you, TF Source. You guys rock. Don't they, Blot? Yes. Right. Okay. So this is Blot in his robot mode. And it is really, really, really nice. Let's take a look at the head sculpt. Look at that head sculpt. Look at that face. Face that the mother could love and everybody else. If it would focus. I guess that's going to have to do. Well, you get the idea. The main thing I'd really want to show y'all, focus darn it, is he's got teeth molded in his mouth. Tiny, tiny little canine teeth. Canines as in C-A-N-I-N-E, not the dog. K9. Puppy! So, you know, you probably never got to see it, but watch somebody else's review. Yeah, don't even watch mine, whatever. I don't care. Shut up. I'm telling me so shut up. So, there's Blot. He's looking really cool. He's got some really, really great paint apps. His visor here is just ever so slightly metallic. He's got some nice deep blues and I guess a medium light purples with some, you know, I don't know what kind of gray to describe that as. Then we got some almost silvers here. And on the back, he's got heel spurs to help him stand. Yep, that's Blot. He's got great articulation. His arms move around and up and down, and they move right there at the bicep, and they move there at the elbow in two different hinges, mainly for transformation. And his wrist moves back up and down for transformation, and swivels! Yes, Mixmaster, he's actually agreeing with me on this. Swivels! I'm really not a wrist swivel Nazi, but a lot of people are, so they'll be happy about this. Okay, so back to what we were doing. He's got waist articulation. My cat is running around being crazy. It is raining outside, and she can't go outside, so she's kinda having some cabin fever. So, his legs go back and forth and in and out at the waist, or the thigh, whatever. At the knee, they go back and forth and left and right. And there's an additional for transformation hinge right here. So you can be like, kick himself in the butt. Alright. And his feety little feet, they go back and forth. He don't have ankle tilts. Oh no, no ankle tilts. But he has like little toe tilts. They go back and forth and up and down and even upside down. So that's cool. And like I said, he's got heel spurs that can kind of do this. So really, there's not too many poses he can't pull off. Now, of course, that's not really an action pose. Like, well, actually, I've done that action pose before. You close the door, it's locked, and right as it shuts, you remember, my keys are in there! Yeah. Haven't done that in a while, though, thankfully. Where's some wood? I'm not even sure if this desk is wood. It's some kind of weird material. But there's Blot and Robot mode. Let's do some cool... Oh, wait. Before I do comparisons, normally I forget the comparison and then I have to come back and do it. He comes with weapons. And all the weapons he comes with actually turn into his foot, but we'll look at that in foot mode. So he's got 2 of these blasters right here. They come with 5mm pegs right there and right there, so he can hold them. And these barrels right here are kind of telescoping, so he can hold them like that. He's also got lots and lots of peg holes here. One on his shoulder, one on his forearm, one on his backpack monster arm right here. So let's just try him on his shoulder. So, he's got some shoulder blasters. Try him on his forearms. That looks pretty cool too. I like that. It's a nice red color. Real nice red. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Not as pretty as you though. You're so pretty. And in addition to his shorter arm hand blasters, he's got the main foot piece right here, which you open up and wow, missile pods. Kind of. They're painted silver on the front, but not really on the side, but that's cool. It's a toy. I mean, it's not like you gotta fool anybody. But due to the way the actual foot moves, it can kind of go back and forth like this. So you got some options on how you want to bend it. And the bottom of the missile pod thing has 2 peg holes, and they can be flipped out for a peg. Now in robot mode, he doesn't have any great place to hold them. Like, here's one thing I kind of figured out, and it's not great, but it's not terrible. You can put these right here on the side of his backpack. And I kind of like to untelescope him. Okay. Now he's got like chimney stacks. And then I put this one right here. So he's got this cool, like, super arm missile pod thing. I'm really ready to slap somebody upside the head with some missiles. Bam! Okay, and there's his weapons. I've seen some people put the blasters on his shoulders, forearms, or hands, and they just have this to the side. I really don't like the... I know this isn't any more symmetrical, but I don't like the unsymmetry of it. So, that's for his, that's it for his weapons. So let's just put these off to the side, do some cool comparisons of him in robot mode. Alright. Standing nice. First up, let's do his good buddy from the IDW comics, Six Shot. who doesn't even fit in frame. But I can make them. Look at that. Now in the IDW comics, Six-Shot has like one group of friends, one group that really understands him, and that is the Terrorcons. And this is the only actual IDW style, G1 style Terrorcon I have at all. And there he is. Six-Shot has the extra helmet thing right here that is silver, and the stag cleavers. He looks super awesome like that. Okay, so there is Six-Shot with Blot. Six-Shot and Blot. Or if you want to go with the third-party names, Terminus Hexadron and Troll. I'll give the third-party companies credit for being pretty creative for all these code names for all the characters. Alright, who else do I have? Where did... Oh, of course. Little Blot. Or Blight. This is the Transformers Prime Beast Hunters Blight or Blot, whichever one you want to call him. And he also combines into his own little abominous guy with the other four members. So there he is. And there he is sitting on his shoulder. Little brother. Or sitting like this. I can do it. I can do this. I can do this. There we go. No. There we go. No. No. Come on, gravity. Stop being an enemy. There we go. There's Big Brother and Little Brother Blot. The Blots. The Blot Brothers. Alright. And just for another Unique Toys comparison, let me grab a Mania King here. Move Cyclonus out of the way. Forgot to grab him already. So yeah, this is... I believe this is the figure where Unique Toys kind of stopped sucking and really started making cool stuff. There he is with Mania King, aka Galvatron. Cool figure, but not as cool as Blot. So, I think that's enough for comparisons. So now, let's go ahead and go into the fan mode with the monster arms. So first off, put his hands in his forearms. I forgot what those things are called. Yeah, I got them too, but I can't bend my hand into it. It hurts. But whatever. And just as a little trick, these things are really hard to push out with this tiny little tab that you got. You see it? What I really recommend you do is take any 5mm weapon like the one he comes with and plugging it into his hand while it's in there and using that to move it. This one's actually really tight. So sometimes you might have to do that, but using that to make a bad example out of me, buddy. Come on. Alright, let's do it with this one. See, there we go. There we go. But, enough of that mess. And just as you can see, I kind of like the PIA configuration for the hands. You can stick the claws up like this if you want. Stick them up all crazy spiked like the MGO method, which is kind of handy since you got to do this anyways. So yeah. Alright, but let's get back to this. Fold his arms up like that. Get him ready. unplug them from the shoulders. Plug out. Plug it out. Plug it out. Then just kind of spread them apart. Alright, and then we're going to pull them out and down. And then this side that's got this little silver part right here, they both got silver parts, but this one opens up. And that is where you're going to move the arm to where this little shoulder pad is going to be going to this part, this little cutout part right here. And this little notch peg thingy is going to go into this notch hole right there where you can see green through. So let's do it. Close it up. Do the same thing. Open that up. Turn it like this. Twist it in there, not slide in there, twist it in there. Kind of finagle it around until you get that little black piece through. And you can see the black piece right there. And close it back. And from there, just move them forward. And here, you have the monster arm fan mode. And this, if you want the junk showing, that way you can have better articulation, like he can really get his arm up at a sharp angle. But I don't like the junk showing, so I do it like that, which that is the highest angle you can get without the kibble, not junk, kibble showing. So there is Blot with monster arms. Now from here we're pretty much gonna go and turn him into foot mode. So to do that, you want to kind of snap him in half, kind of, not really, don't snap him in half, but make his back bend this way, this way, this way. I hope that's better than normal Transformer instructions. Like that, you see? And then flip out this weird little piece. You know, before we do that, actually really do that, let's put his head up. Fold his monster head out. And then there's a hinge down here. This splits most of the monster face. And then you got this opening right here. Move the monster head down, the robot head, into the monster head. Got a head and a head. Then you move it down. Alright? And then, let's go back to splitting him in half. You want to rotate him at the waist to where this screw hole is in the front. And then, go to the very bottom of his crouch piece, and you will see there's a little black thing in there. And you just kind of slide that out. And you'll get where that's going in a minute. So, put his heel spur back in. Go ahead and fold his feet upside down and up. We're just kind of cleaning things up, getting things out of the way. And this is where the foot is going to start coming in. So grab his foot and the pieces that I already showed you. And in case you don't know how to do this, so here's the blaster you've already seen. And we're going to fold it back like that. And then slide that down. Let's see it again. We're going to fold it back like that. Slide that down. And then we're going to take the main piece of the foot, get this kind of up. This is where it's going to connect to the actual robot. And this peg right here, and peg hole and peg hole, peg and peg, that's where those go. There's one side of the foot. Again, peg, peg, peg hole, peg hole. It's kind of confusing because he's got like 4 peg holes going down the length of his foot, but you only need 2 of them. And there's his foot. It's a nice foot. It really is. So, now, what you're going to do is go ahead and move him back down like this. And you're going to, let's see, you're going to fold it at this hinge to where this part is sticking out. Not the actual knee. You want that straight. You want to kind of unpeg that part and fold it up. Kind of spread his legs a little to do this. Okay. And this is the hardest part of going into foot mode. Now, I showed you the piece right here that you have to fold out. And there's some notches, you see right there, on either side of the bottom of the feet, which is now up, like this. And there's also notches right here. See where that purple thing is? It used to be his knee. There's a notch hole right there and there. You've got to put the foot in there. Okay, get in there nice and good. And mine kind of goes at an angle when you first put it in. The last one that I had that broke did not. Oh, and by the way, see that pin head right there? That actually came out, and this just completely came off like that. Oh, and one more thing, let's go ahead and do this. Pull these parts up. They kind of slide up, or not slide up, but turn up, and make that part go down. So, like I said, this part right here we're about to do is the hardest part. You've got to line up this with this and that with these two pieces. I recommend doing one at a time. Okay, so that part's done. Oh, and you also got to peg this peg into that peg hole and this peg into that peg hole. There you go. So, now let's try and get all this lined up. 4 different things you got to line up perfectly. And there you go. That's the hardest part of foot mode. Now, you got these 2 little notches right here. And on what a lot of people have been calling the loincloth. Come on now. See, there's 2 notch holes right there. You want to line that up. That helps further stabilize the leg, which when it comes down to it is actually just the shin. And he is happy to be in that configuration. Now the last thing you got to do, straighten his arm out. Let's see. To where the kibble is facing forward. And then you're going to, let's see, turn it around. You're going to move that back while turning it back. See? You're going to straighten that up. You're moving this back and then turning it back. But you kind of do it at the same time. I'm making it look hard, but it's not. And then from there, there's a notch hole and a notch and a peg hole. Peg and a peg hole. You're going to get those together. There we go. And from there, just kind of straighten the hands or do whatever you want with them. And there we have his shin mode, leg mode. Very, very nice leg. Nice shin. Very nice. I bet you can kick him in the shin and wouldn't even hurt that shin. That's a good shin right there. Shin, yeah. Holy shin. So yeah, and it's got a really, really nice ankle tilt. And this post right here, I should have said this before, but that's a strong post. I have full belief that it's not going to snap no matter how big the other 4 guys are going to be or how heavy. It is a good, strong post. Very nice. So now let's get some other combiner legs in here for comparison. Now first up is my very, very first actual third-party figure, not just upgrade set, but figure, and my very first third-party combiner. we got G2 Yellow Giant, or G2 Devastator. And there they are. Let's move this up so you can see better. So it's actually quite a bit bigger than the average Makai Toy leg, combiner leg. And just so you can see them together, there you go. Handsome devil. So there is Makai Toy's G2 Devastator. And here's my least favorite third-party figure ever, or combiner probably ever. Superion, aka Uranus, or some people are trying to pronounce it Uranus so it doesn't sound like a butthole, but say what you want, it's Uranus. It's their anus, whatever. Least favorite one ever. He does not stand very well. As you can see, he's trying to slide and do the splits. And for the record, I've already done the leg fix up here. Yeah, I've done it. And it helped a lot. But not enough. But there's those two together. And so you can see all of it. There you go. Whatever. I'm saying whatever too much. Whatever. Got kind of a different camera setup than most people here. Forgive me while I do some adjustments. There we go. So let this put this guy up. No, I actually just recently bought the Wings of Uranus excuse me, upgrade kit for this guy, but he hasn't gotten here yet. He's still in my BBTS pile of loot. Hopefully I'll like him a lot better, even though it's going to make me take off some parts and put them aside and never use them again, which I really hate. You're paying a high cost for all this third-party plastic, and it's like, oh, well, you know, I'm just not going to use this piece right here. Let's just dump it and never use it again. And then finally, in case nobody has ever owned a third-party figure before, or at least third-party combiner, let's get a recent combiner. No, I don't have any combiner wars yet. It sucks. Let's move his arm up. But that is the difference between a third-party combiner leg and a Hasbro combiner leg. And I actually really liked Bruticus here. But it's no competition for some of these guys. Really great. Really great. Alright. So I think that's enough for comparisons with the leg. It's not a Christmas story here. So let's get him into his monster mode, or beast mode. And a lot of people have been trying to figure out exactly what is Blot. Well, as far as I know, he is a mole man, a mole monster. That's what he is, a mole monster. And when we get him into monster mode, beast mode, you'll kind of see it. So let's start. First of all, let's get this, well, let's move his arms up out of the way and spread this back apart. Oh, wait. Pull that up first. Pull up the loincloth. And then spread this apart. Okay, so we're going to put that to the side. And then we're going to, let's see, pull the arms out back to the front. Let's go ahead and twist that up, and we're going to have it like this. Where normally where the legs were, they're going to be kind of pointing back. Because now we've got to, and this is definitely the hardest part of the transformation. It really isn't that bad it's just going to look bad because I suck. Alright, so if you want, you can go ahead and pull this monster head out. And then the waist up is complete. Now it's complete. So, oh, let me still on that little connector thing. What we got to do here is we got these feet that have been curled up for the whole review, and they kind of come out like that. And then this is the most dangerous part of the figure, right here. And with this side, it doesn't do it at all. You got to move it out like that. No big deal. With this side, it's a little bit more complicated. Okay? And it's not that big a piece of a plastic right there. See the part with the pin in? Not that big. What you need to do, go ahead and straighten the leg up, and you're going to pull it out until this kind of becomes a little hollow. There we go. Turn his foot upside down. So he's got these short little legs like me. I kind of relate to Blot the most than all the other figures. I don't have wings, I'm just kind of a short, stocky guy. Like Blot. You kind of look like that in the face. A little bit. So, let's see here. Alright, this part right here is what's going to be the outside of the backpack on here. So we got to remember how to do that. There we go. Right, okay, hold on, give me a minute here so I don't waste. Okay, so I just had to remind myself how to do this. First of all, like I said, this part's going to be a problem, this piece right here. You're going to want to grab this piece with this little pin head, grab it and move it like this out with your fingers. Otherwise, there is an actual danger of it possibly snapping. And from there, now we had it to where the waist with the screw hole was right there. We want to turn that around. And from there, you kind of fold it over the leg. Well, fold it, okay, move it to the side, move these arms out of the way, and then fold it into the leg, like so. And what you're going to have to do is see how we moved these pieces down that was keeping the waist higher. You want this piece right here in there. And that is the most difficult part. So move it down, and you see everything starting to come together where you can see what's going on. Hopefully. I hope you can see what's going on. And then below that notch hole that we spoke of earlier, there's an actual peg hole. I'm not pointing the one I'm about to plug in, but there's a peg right there on the piece that I'm moving on the other side. And we want to plug that in. But we're not going to plug it in right now. We're just going to kind of position it to where it's ready to. Get this leg all extended. So we're going to do that to the same thing to the other side. Okay, can y'all see what I'm doing? I hope y'all can, because otherwise I'm not doing my job very well, am I? And see right here, this part is the part that you're wanting in that little square area right there and there. So, kind of have it back a little, that way it'll fit in. And there we go. From here, you want this peg right here going into that peg hole. Pop. Move the arm out of the way. And pop. And then finally, plug those pieces in like I stated previously. like I said, it's one of those easier viewed or said than done. But let's see. And I believe we have it plugged in properly. So now you just kind of, he's done. You just straighten everything up how you like, at your preference. Get much. And there we go. There is Blot in his mole monster mode. And he's looking pretty vicious, pretty mean, ready to battle and probably eat your face. Quite possibly, probably eat your face. He is a face eater. I don't really know that for a fact, but I bet he is. I bet you like $10 he is. We're playing with third-party figures worried about $10. That's stupid. Yeah. And he's got a little bit of backpack, but that's cool. He's got somewhere to go. So there he is. Now he's got really, really great articulation. He can make a lot of great poses. He balances really well on that tiny little leg. I say he does, but I'm not doing a very good job of it, am I? Well, you're just gonna have to bleed me. How about this? He's balancing on a single toe there. It's like he's testing the water. Oh, it's too cold. So as for articulation, because I've already kind of shown, well, let's get a good look at the monster head. There is the monster head. One of my main complaints about this figure, his mouth does not open. Now I understand it's for the transformation, for there's the robot head over there, but his mouth doesn't open, and he's a monster. His mouth is supposed to open. My mouth opens, otherwise I wouldn't be doing this review. But for articulation, his monster arm moves 360 degrees with a little bit of stuff in the way, but it's not too hard to do. His head can move down a little, so he can kind of nod yes. It doesn't turn or anything like that. He can split it. That's about it. That's for transformation. His legs move in and out and almost 360. Not almost, like not even 180. Almost 180 at the thigh, and they move at the knee with some really, really nice ratchet joints. And they move at the ankle, back and forth, and left and right. So he's really got nice ankle tilts. Oh, and of course he moves at the bicep up here, back and forth, and at the elbow. So he's got all kinds of great different poses he can do. Definitely a menacing figure there. And his wrists. He's got wrist swivels. And his fingers can move pretty much any way you want them to. So lots of movement on this guy. Lots. So there is Blot, aka Troll, who will be the left or right leg of Odin. I believe he's going to be the right leg. They're kind of interchangeable, so it doesn't matter, but he's supposed to be. Supposed to. So, for comparison, I've got a couple of beast formers of different types. First of all, for a Hasbro recent one, we got Scorn. So here he is with Scorn. Scorn's my favorite AoE Dinobot, by the way. see what they look like and how they scale. Let's get them to face off. And look at this. Hasbro made his mouth open. Why can't you do the same? So yeah, there he is with AoE scoring. And for a recent release, here he is with Bombshell. Just a little guy. Bombshell's not too big. I'm on top. I'm gonna ride. I'm sure if these Transformers ever get parasites, he's probably got a few. Troll, that is. Blot. He's probably got some parasites. So, there was my review for Troll. Unique Toys O-01 Troll, otherwise known as Blot. He makes a great, not replacement for G1 Blot, but if you have never got a G1 Blot, or don't like G1 Blot because he's tiny and puny, I don't have one, then this is a great figure if you got the money for it. Which I hope you do, that way you can also enjoy them. So, there was Blot. There was my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, please like, please comment and tell me what you think of my videos and how I can make them better, so I can make better videos for y'all to watch. And until next time, see ya!